Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Luna 2.0, what has happened to it recently, and where I predict the price to go to in the near future, as well as some key price levels and some trades I'm looking to make shoot. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate this daily analysis, be sure to hit the subscribe button for me. So without further ado, let's get those annotations back on the screen from yesterday. And what do we have here? So basically, yesterday's video, we identified this trend line that kind of started when we saw this massive dump. And of course, we were bound by a narrowing channel with two trend lines that were going in the same direction. And I think you know where this is going, because this is a falling wedge. We had, three tests of the support down here, lots of tests of this resistance here. So I'm going to color this in a different color so it's not so confusing. Let's put it in gray since it's already passed. So you can see here we have basically this falling wedge that is now in gray here, and the typical price target of this would have been the distance between the first test of the support and the resistance there. And of course, in yesterday's video I said the price target could have been somewhere around $2.65 ish, but unfortunately we did break out a little bit, but not enough for a complete breakout of a falling wedge. You can see the volume down here. It's a little bit unclear because it's kind of mixed in with the price there, but it kind of followed the general downtrend and it didn't really pick up whatsoever. In fact, the trend of the volume is still going down after that breakout there. So this is basically a breakout that did not respect the falling wedge. There wasn't a lot of momentum, there wasn't a lot of volume. Buyers had not taken control here. Instead, we're just kind of ranging in this area past this falling wedge now. But not all is lost, because it kind of coincides with this longer term trend line that we have, which is now in yellow. So you can see from the summit here on the 12th of October, we've been in this downtrend confirmed by this long trend line that kind of connects all the tops here. And just within the past day, we've had two more touches of this. And a good principle here is that the more a trend line is touched by the price and of course bounces off it, the more reliable the trend line is. So previously we had a few times where this trend line had been touched, 1, 2, 3, and just over the past day we've confirmed a fourth and fifth touch, and they've touched it perfectly. There isn't any period where the price went over this trend line and it bounced off in a very neat fashion. So we've got 5 tests of this trend line, a very reliable trend line going down, and it looks like the price is nearing in to a breakout there. So of course, if we can break out of this longer term trend line, I do think we could start a new trend, because at the moment the price has been generally bullish. I've got this moving average here, which is a good indicator as to what the trend is doing at the moment, and generally we're in this bullish trend. Of course, we can tell that because the price is below the 100-hour moving average here in blue. If the price were to be above, so in this case, for example, then we are in a bullish trend. And of course, if it's just pretty choppy like it was over here, then this is just sideways trending. So at the moment, we're definitely in this downtrend because the price is way below this blue trend line. But, if we can go past this trend line and if we can flip the moving average so that we become bullish, then of course, that will be a very good thing. And we could see the price continue to rise. Now, so as with any trend reversal, what we do want to look for are any potential chart patterns that are developing, because chart patterns will give us reliable trading signals. And of course, they're never perfect, but with a chart pattern in play, it's typically a lot easier. So what I'm looking at here on Luna 2.0 is basically the first thing I see is a kind of triangle that's forming like this. Of course, on this channel, we love our triangles because a triangle gives us a very clear price target. It's just the first test of support and resistance. The distance between those two is our price target for if we break out of this triangle. So in this instance, for example, if this triangle were to be in effect and we just take this resistance here as the resistance for the triangle and we break out of this, then that is just a 4% pump. It takes us through this long-term resistance that we have, and it takes us above this moving average if we're able to break up like this in one swift motion. So this is the shortest term pattern that I'm seeing right here, right now. The support has a couple of tests on it, so you can see that the candle has come down to touch it at least 3 times here on this support line here. So this triangle could have some credit to it, and of course it's pretty exciting because if we have a look here, this is the 1 hour chart, so we could potentially get a decision by 4 hours time, which isn't a lot of time whatsoever. We could see a decision made within the next hour or even this hour while I'm making this video. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Of course, a triangle could go both ways, so we could see a breakout to the downside as well, and that would take us right to this support here we have in light green. Of course, we could likely see the price do something like this all the way down to the support. And of course, if we get down to there, then that would be extremely interesting, because what we then have is a support that's been tested so many times here on Luna 2.0. In fact, if I just zoom to the 4-hour chart, you can see how far back it goes, all the way back to the start of September. This support region here has been a level of support on Luna Classic, right up to most recently when Luna did this dump down to $2.20 here on the 10th of October. So this is our extremely long-term support, and we've obviously got this resistance here that's been with us now for the past 2 weeks or so. And sooner or later, if we do break down, we do not break past this yellow resistance just yet, and we break down where the red line goes, then the price is going to get sandwiched in between this resistance and this support, and it's going to be extremely tense in my opinion. I do think there's going to be a large price movement if the price will get down to here, because of course we're getting sandwiched in between a long-term resistance and an ultra long-term support, and Luna 2.0 will have to make its mind up. Of course, will it pump on the upside and flip bullish once again, or will we continue dumping? And of course, if the answer is continue dumping, then I think $2.20 will be some sort of support for us, because it's been a support on Luna Classic for the longest time. But if not, we could reach our ultimate price target that I said before for $1.80, and I come up with that because I do think we could still be seeing this triangle in play. Now, this triangle is an ultra large one, and obviously the first test of support and resistance is this distance here, and from its breakout up here, that would have given us that price target of $1.80. So really, if we cannot hold this line, the next level down would be $2.20 for me, and if we cannot hold $2.20, then I don't see us stopping until $1.80. But that's only if we break down past this light green line here. So that's what I'm looking at in the immediate future. Of course, what I'm also seeing here is, see from my last pattern that I drew out on here, this falling wedge, I still see some sort of variation of it, where if we collect the lows here, these 4 lows on Luna 2.0, we can still see that both trend lines are kind of converging into each other. They're both pointing in the downwards direction, and this could still be construed as a falling wedge. So even if we break down below that triangle that I said before, then we could see us break out of the falling wedge. And of course, this falling wedge has quite a large price target attached to it, and I still think it's this price target here. So let's say we broke out within the next hour, for example, that is $2.67. So I do think we could still be seeing this falling wedge. And obviously, if we break out a little bit lower down here, for example, then we could see $2.60. And in both cases, that would break through this long-term trend line and possibly follow a new trend. And of course, we should break this moving average as well. So one of my supporting points here for a potential change of trend as well is this. So let me just get rid of this for a second. There we go. So we just got the raw RSI data, the relative strength index data here. And basically we've been in this oversold region, according to this RSI. We've been in this bearish trend though. So, an oversold reading on RSI doesn't mean too much. But what's particularly interesting is this. I found this pattern here on the RSI, and just like how we can create chart patterns for the price data itself, we can create price patterns for technical indicators as well. And on the RSI, I've seen this. This is something I'm keeping my eye on right now. And I do think we could potentially see a cup and handle formation on the RSI. If we look on the price, it looks like we could be forming something similar. It's not perfect, but we could be forming some sort of similar cup and handle pattern. Now, this is obviously speculative, and this is just something I'm keeping my eye on. I'm not saying that this is 100% going to happen, but we've seen the cut bit of the cup and handle on the RSI. We could be seeing this handle. So a handle is typically will typically go like this, for example. So the RSI will go down, indicating that the price may go down in the future as well. And once we break out through this resistance here, we should see the RSI do something like this. And of course, that would be a cup and a handle. So we've got the cup in this bit here and the handle on the RSI. And the subsequent breakout would take us into this overbought region on the RSI. And obviously, if the RSI reading is overbought, it probably coincides with the fact that we've broken out of a falling wedge with a lot of volume and momentum, and the price is doing something like that. So this is something I'm keeping my eye on the RSI indicator. That's pretty exciting stuff for me, because that confirms that we could be seeing this falling wedge, or we could be seeing that triangle chart pattern form, because both follow with a subsequent breakout with a lot of volume and momentum and take the price up to at least this $2.60 mark. So that on the RSI would be reading an overbought if it got there pretty quick. So another reason to be bullish here on Luna 2.0. Obviously, I don't know exactly when the breakout will be. It could be in a few hours. It could be tomorrow. But these are just some pieces of evidence which I think will make for Luna 2.0's bullish case. One more reason I think as well is because of the stock market, and the stock market represented here by the S&P 500 has started a bear market rally, I believe. So what we're seeing right here right now is the one-day chart for the S&P 500. Obviously, since the start of 2022, we've been in this downtrend, but throughout this downtrend, this primary downtrend, we've seen these intermediate moves here, which are bear market rallies where, the price is pumped 15-20% on the S&P alone. And of course, the latest one was in August, where we saw the price go from 370 all the way to 430. And we saw Bitcoin in the same time frame go from $19,000 to $25,000. And what we're seeing right now could be the start of the next bear market rally. So if it is indeed a bear market rally, we could see something that does something like this, for example. And obviously, if the stock market is doing that, then chances are Bitcoin and altcoins like Luna 2.0 will see similar price action. Now, of course, the correlation won't be perfect, but it will probably add a bullish bias here on Luna 2.0. And of course, when Luna 2.0 is bullish, then we are typically above this 100-hour moving average. So if we see that bear market rally and Luna 2.0 follows suit, then we should see the price eventually flip this blue line here and go in a more upwards direction. Something that looks like this, for example. It doesn't have to be one straight line upwards like this, but we could see a gradual increase in price here, a general uptrend supported by a bullish support line that could look like this, for example. So that's my bullish case here for Luna 2.0. Of course, if I'm going to be making any trades, I will update my trading view, so be sure to follow me on there. The link for it is in the description below. Otherwise, I make these daily analysis videos, so I'll make a video like this tomorrow with the new price data that comes in and any new things that I'm looking for. So be sure to stay tuned for that and subscribe to this channel with the notifications on if you want to see that video in real time. But otherwise, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say. Summary of it is I'm generally bullish for Luna 2.0's future. Of course, I can't predict what news will come out on Do Kwon or anything like that, but generally speaking, quite some evidence here to prove that Luna 2.0 should be changing its trends sooner or later. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions whatsoever. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all your support. I'll see you in my next video.